Welcome to this debate between the vice presidential candidates for Barker House.
Barker. Harwood.
Harwood House. Just we're gonna have opening remarks here. Both sides will have a minute to go, and then we'll mark the end of that minute. And then please just wrap it up as fast as you can. Let's keep the yapping to a minimum. Proud Gracie, will begin your time whenever you begin speaking.
All right. Well, hello. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for coming. I'm Gracie. I'm really just here for the people. I'm here to just whatever your needs are. I'm going to try and get them.
We get a popcorn machine.
I can do that for sure. I saw one at Target. It's only like $20. I'd be willing to pitch in my own money for it.
Sweet.
But I am here for us. I am here to make community events to bond us closer together and also make your time here easier. So if you need anything ever, even if I don't become vice president, I don't care. Just let me know and I'm here for you. Anything you need.
It's the time. Now, Daniyal, whenever you feel ready.
Citizens of Harwood! I know how long you have lived in terrible times. And let me just mention, if she wins, times are gonna get worse. Now, what was your name again? Now, Gracie, she says she's gonna listen to you. She says she has a idea, but she does not. She's just making shit up. I'm the first one, the only one, who made posters. Where are them? Who made posters? I have a proper game plan. Everything that you're concerned about will be heard. It will be addressed. And it will be fixed. Now,
can I get an autographed version of that photo?
yes, you could. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
He just said things are gonna get worse.
That's great.
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of questions.
So in lieu of this being the democratic process, we are going to open up the floor to the people to ask the questions to our two vice presidential candidates. We'll give them, the same.
I feel like 1.5.
Let's do two. Yeah, cozy. They'll have each 2 minutes respectively to answer. We'll give them, say, a minute to respond to the other one, and then we'll move on, vice versa. So, if anyone would like to ask a question, feel free right now.
You didn't say anything really, so what are you gonna do for Harwood?
Now, as vice president, I'm gonna fix a lot of things. All of them. For that, I need to be president. But as vice president, I'll fix them all. Now, one of the biggest problems, if you walk into the washroom in the third floor, you're gonna find it. That's the priority. That is the priority. The second priority is the hallways smell like sweat. We're gonna fix that as well. The third priority. This place gets boring. You're playing chess during a debate. I'm gonna fix that. There's gonna be more board games here. Other than Connect 4, there's gonna be more board games. You're gonna have more things to do. You're gonna make this place something more enjoyable for everyone.
How much was your drip? How much was that?
This whole thing, the suit itself cost like about like $500.
Alright. Which ones are better, cats or dogs?
I believe that both of those animals deserve it.
Boo. Choose one.
Okay, follow-up question. So, if you get elected, will you go up to the third floor and clean it?
I will make sure it's clean. I will not do that myself.
Okay, but like, Someone has to do it. That's not. And like
That's
Daniel,
someone
if you go up and clean,
That's someone
fucking
we give it.
Okay, you have my vote if you go up there and clean it.
You're not in Harwood.
Yes. Voter fraud. Duh.
I do not condone any crimes, especially during this debate when there are 1, 2, 3 cameras pointing at me.
Okay, but everyone turn off your cameras.
No.
I still
What?
do not condone any crime because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, one on one. Let's go out into the
19.
hallway. Let's go out into the hallway.
Well, let's keep this.
You got a debate
Okay.
Are you gonna help us win intramurals?
Okay, let's keep
We will win in intramurals.
keep the questions.
We will win.
Is that
Your time is pretty much up. You had a couple questions there. I'll let you do whatever you want. Any of those responses. You have a minute whenever you begin speaking.
Oh yeah, you can still
I'm
do
pretty
that.
good.
Okay, yields the time. I suppose we should reverse those questions. So I think the first one was clearly only applicable to Daniel.
I have a question that I'd like to
No,
ask.
we're reversing the question.
Yeah, I agree.
Please.
See,
We're
if
trying
I'm
to
vice
have
president,
order.
that's not reversing the questions.
Okay, so
Everyone
guess,
gets a right to
I
speak.
think the only important one, really, unless anyone disagrees, is what is your do you have any ideas of how to solve the current hygiene situation on the third floor?
I think we were talking this morning about a lot of interesting ways that we could go about solving this issue. I don't think any of them, like the recorder situation, would be of any use because it is particularly violating to people's privacy. But I do believe, I think that's my one. Hold on. I do believe that it should be taken care of. And if we can get people to talk and see why this is happening, who is causing it, and how we can prevent this from happening in the future,
Good game.
yeah, I think that would be my priority.
Okay, Daniel, you have a minute to respond.
My response is you are taking a very liberal approach to the problem. The issue at hand is that the criminal is a maniac. And that maniac should be punished. I will assemble a team of qualified individuals, knock on everyone's doors, and ask them if they are the ones who did it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be intimidating enough to scare the people. And then make someone confess. And if they confess, we will offer them mercy by not killing them. and just kicking them out of the house, because that is an actual offense. Not flushing repeatedly is. I've read the rule book, which is again something I do. I've read the rule book, and you're not allowed to do that. So there will be a proper legal process again, which I will follow.
Question. I be one of the people on that team.
If you're willing to come in a suit, yes.
What
We
if
all
I
need
don't
to be
have
in
suits?
suits.
Suits provided.
How do you not have a suit?
I didn't bring a suit with me.
That's your role.
A good suit can come for $100 in Zara or something.
Is the said maniac in the room right now?
We have no idea,
We do not know.
but we will find them.
They could be.
So if they are in the room,
They could be in the room. It could be any one of us.
Please,
There's
your
an
questions
imposter
are also
among us.
like pertinent. Let's not. Jacob,
Isaac.
you had a question earlier.
Sure.
I'll cut you off.
So, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there has been a lot of divide between the 4th floor and the 3rd floor. How might you recommend that we more communicate and just spend more time more as a total hall versus floor?
Sorry, Gracie, you go first. You have 2 minutes.
I think one thing that we could do is we could get the social chairs involved, and really plan more community events, that appeal to both sides, because I do agree, there is a very much divided space between the 4th floor and the 3rd floor. I mean, you can tell by just looking around. Hello. And I think that being able to work together as a cabinet, and also work together with you to see what you would like to do, and how you would like to interact more and become more connected as a community. I think that's very important.
Okay, I will get to you next. We need to do these questions. Daniel, you have a minute to respond to that.
Now, I get your concern that there is a very big divide between the peoples. And then he asked a question about winning intramurals. Now, we can't win if we do not present the united front. And that's what I will fix. Now, I can't really start training people, but I can present the united front. I'm gonna go up to everyone's doors, enlist the best of athletes, and make sure we win. Now, that's just one example. Any issue we face will be fixed through cooperation, which I will personally lead. I will not make a council and then wait for them to do something, because the council does not represent everyone. I will personally go to everyone's doors and get their opinion. And then you will make conscious, proper decisions. We represent strong, new, and proper Harwood. An unstoppable Harwood.
You good? Okay. Alice, your question.
So my question is that earlier, before the camera started rolling, you tried to paint your opponent. This is for Daniel. You tried to paint your opponent as "quote unquote" Hitler, and I'd like to ask how Harwood could trust a political candidate that is trying to use such defamatory words toward their own opponent and can't treat them in good faith, especially when your own policies regarding the bathroom situation could be perceived as more authoritarianistic than Gracie's policies.
See, I may have painted her as the Führer herself. But I should present any defense to that. Now, I will present why she may be the Führer. Did you see the way she drove? If my tactics are mean, that should be punishable by death. She endangered the lives of several individuals, broke actual laws. I'm pretty sure she sped. I did not see this barometer, but I'm pretty sure she sped.
I did not.
And she flipped me off at least 7 times.
So did you.
Now that is something Hitler would have done if he was in that same car. Hitler was driving that same car. Hitler would have done that. All I'm saying is, she may or may not be Hitler, but she does things that Hitler would do. I have read my Kampf.
Is this taken to say that you're perceiving her absence of objection to being called Hitler as consent for it? Because I find that deeply problematic.
I'm not saying she isn't. She's not presenting a defense to that. I'm saying she has the ability to present a defense, but she has chosen not to defend. I'm not saying that neither.
What, like an English teacher?
But I'm just pointing that out. That she has not presented a defense yet. If I was pointed toward as being Hitler, I would try to defend that.
You're laughing because
I would
it's
try to
true.
defend that.
I'll vote for my O.J. Simpson.
From Gracie, your
Gloves
response to
don't
these,
fit.
his statement or accusations.
I cannot change your opinion of me. Whatever your opinion is for you, that is valid in your own.
I would like to record to state my opinion is valid.
What, even though you are saying it and that is what you believe, I may not agree. And I do in fact not agree. But I do think, and I do recall before I started driving, I did recall asking if people were okay with it. I do remember being told that that was wanted multiple times. And I do recall when I asked if you wanted to move into the cab of the truck, you did not.
What the fuck is that?
And I do in fact recall you flipping me off first. And you recording me and also using your camera and your flashlight to blind me as
I will
a
also
driver.
write the record to state that Iowa is a one-party consensus, so I can record. I am not.
I
I checked.
also did not break any laws.
You endangered the lives of several.
Yeah, but we're gonna call that. Got any other questions here? In a gallery.
What limitations, if any, do you believe there should be on our First Amendment rights to free speech?
There should be no limit. Everyone should be able to speak as long as they do not infringe on anyone else's rights. So if somebody has an idea that brings direct harm to some other group or individual, that idea is not infringing. But as long as an idea is an expression of one's own freedom and does not infringe on someone else's freedom, that idea should be accepted and invited to be expressed.
I will get to you next. Let her respond. Trial Gracie, what is your?
Yeah, I do think that people should be able to respond freely and have the freedom of speech. I do not believe that they should be able to harm others with their words, so like saying racist or sexist comments, for example. But I do think that everyone, even if their opinion is not particularly agreed with, I think that they should be able to have the right to be heard.
Okay.
Yeah, this question goes to Gracie. One of your biggest pitches earlier on was the whole idea of bringing in goats to the Harwood premises.
Terrible idea.
Is it true that you have ditched this idea because there is unpopularity amongst this and you wanted to appease the voters, that you gave up your own passions? Is it true that you're not true to your principles when it's convenient for you?
I would say no. The practicality of having goats in a place, a residential place, it's not very practical. They do smell a lot, which does infringe on some of our policies here. And overall, goats are not really the best decision for us at Harwood. And I was not the only one who entertained this idea, for sure. But I did have a discussion with multiple people within Harwood, and this is the consensus that we kind of came down to. And though I am very passionate about goats, I do not think that this is the right environment for them, so it would not be fair for them nor for us if they were raised here.
Do you have anything to add about that?
I do have some of them. She said goats are not supposed to be in the college dorm because they are not the right type of animals. But did you not say that goats should be as service animals? So are you saying that service animals are bad?
Can I respond?
Yeah. We're working on the same.
There is not enough room for the goats to be here. It is not a proper living space for them. I do not, however, discourage the fact of emotional support animals. I myself am looking into getting an emotional support animal because I think that not only for me but for others it would be very helpful. Especially as the school year goes on and we continue to face more.
Like a cow. Like an emotional support cow.
I also do not believe that this is the right environment for them, but like a cat, a dog, like a hamster, animals that are more smaller are able, that also don't smell very bad, because it is a law in, it's a house policy.
What about a miniature pony?
I also do not think that they have enough.
Keep the questions
room.
for when it's open.
Yeah, but I do not think that this is the right environment for them, and that would also impact us in a negative way as well.
Okay. I think. Do you have a question? Still? Okay.
I was gonna tag on PJ's question.
Oh, okay. You can if you can.
Could I have an emotional support blue whale?
What'd you say?
An emotional support blue whale.
I am not the direct person to go to for that. There are, however, resources that I would be happy to provide you with, and to get you in contact with, such as like housing, and student accessibility, in order to see if that could be a possibility.
Yeah, okay, so we're going to interrupt with our own question here.
Alright.
So, my question, should juveniles be tried and treated as adults?
Either one, you want to take the floor first?
I will take
He's taking off more articles.
2 minutes?
Juveniles should not be tried as adults.
What if they kill someone?
They are juveniles for a reason.
So you are saying games can use children and they can get away with it?
That's a separate issue known as child soldiers that ventures off into different territory. And we were getting into warfare and guerrilla tactics rather than should be
So
tried.
you're saying if like a 17-year-old killed someone.
See, there is legal precedent on how that has been handled. Now, the way a court sometimes, in cases such as these, addresses these situations, they see the mental competence of the child. Now, if that 17-year-old pretends, behaves, and considers themselves as a fully conscious and autonomous legal adult, they have been tried like that. There is legal precedent for that. But when they have shown any sense of immaturity in the decision, they have been treated as juveniles. Now, the court handles turning 18 in jail in different ways. And so, if a 17-year-old does commit a murder, they will be put in juvenile jail. But then, once they turn 18, they will be moved into proper prisons, where they are then treated as adults and given the same sentence that other adults get. So, I do not think that that is a very big legal problem that we're facing. Yes, he's my
Gracie, your 2 minutes to respond is your own opinions.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about this personally.
indecisive.
Just keep the comments to a minimum. Yeah.
Please, I'm talking. Thank you. So I would say, on the one hand, some crimes like murder or those higher offensive crimes, especially as the juvenile is approaching the age of 18, can be considered to be tried in an adult court. But I do think that an adult court for a juvenile case does not take into account all of the factors of why why they committed that crime. And so I think one, it's a case-by-case decision for sure. But also I think, especially for like lower level crimes like theft, or trespassing, I think that those should stay juvenile for sure. But yeah.
Sir?
So this has a little more relevance to Harwood specifically. So I'm sure you know of the TV that was in the den. What is your plans to replace
Oh yeah,
it?
that's okay. I'd like to expound on that because that was my TV actually. I took that shit out of there because somebody broke the Wii. So y'all fix that. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I have a statement. I do not think someone's personal TV should be in there if you do not intend to leave it in there for usage, because I don't think that's fair to the people in here to just have a TV that you can remove at your whim. I think we should be looking into getting house funds to do that. I do not think someone's personal TV should be in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Use house phones. Don't break my shit.
The Wii was the Wii yours?
No, the Wii wasn't mine.
Yeah.
But I mean, just because somebody broke the Wii, who says the TV isn't next?
I will yield the time since we got Daniel. Answer the last question first, unless you would like to do it as a second.
Am I going?
Okay, yeah, unless you'd like.
Can you please restate the question?
Sure, yeah. So, in the den, we used to have a TV and a Wii, which the Wii is actually broken. But do you have plans to replace it? And if so, how big of a TV are we talking? And are we gonna be fixing the Wii as well?
I personally do not know what state of disrepair the Wii is in, so I can't particularly speak on that. I would like to fix it, because I do believe that it brings more of an environment and a community to that room, as well as to the house. And I can also not speak on the size of the TV, but depending on what house funds we can get, because arguably, yes, I would like to use house funds, because I think that it should be something that goes just beyond this year, instead of just being someone's personal thing that we can take at their whim, like Alice said. But basically, like going on Facebook Marketplace, or going to like find a discounted TV that works for us.
Daniyal, you have 2 minutes to respond and give your position.
Now, I understand your question, but we should have it. I'm gonna take the situation. Now, if you all heard the RA, Mr. Will's speech that last Sunday, he referenced the fact that the council sits in meetings which decides what's gonna be, what are the prizes are gonna be in the raffle that happens. Okay. Now, as vice president, something I can particularly look into is making sure a TV is one of it. Worst case for our intention here would be that someone else wins the TV and decide to keep it. That is a very good worst case, because that means they want a TV fair and square. Now, best case, I intend to use all my bill pockets to buy said TV and donate it to the den, so that den may have TV. In case we do not get a TV that way, I intend to do everything that is in my power to make sure that a proper, insured TV is placed in the den, so that if some idiot does break it, we can take it back to Walmart and get it repaired for less cost than it takes to buy it. That's why I will not use the approach of buying something from Facebook Marketplace, because yes, it would be slightly cheaper, but some idiot will break it, and we're gonna have to fix it. Now you can't really use Facebook Marketplace for that. So TV with the proper warranty is what I believe.
Yes, but how much more would that cost?
That issue will be looked into, and we will make sure to try to convince Walmart to use this stock by getting a lot more discounts in some ways.
Yeah. The time frame on that sounds like it would be a long
Very
time.
quick. Because I will.
The raffle's at the end of the semester.
I will that one semester, and then we're gonna have a TV. But before that, I will go to Walmart personally, and I will beg an employee to give me the best deal. I will wait till the best times to get a proper deal, and make sure our house funds are lined up for that. If we find a really nice deal, something that we can look into donating to, yeah, we will get. And I will personally make sure that we get the best TV that we can find. To make sure everyone gets a 4K, maybe even 8 experience. Depends on how much money I have.
Can I respond to that real quick?
No.
I gave you guys an extra minute to rip between each other, so we're gonna have to cut you off.
Yeah, for
Do you
sure.
have a question?
In your position as vice president, will you be proposing any new chairs?
Can I add or subtract chairs? Add or subtract.
Did you?
Can you?
Yeah.
2 minutes.
I would say that it really depends on what the community needs, and what they want as well. So if a chair does not serve towards the needs, like how was previously mentioned, the ramen chair, it's hard to get house funds to provide for that. But if we can find an alternative to that, like working it into the historians or the treasurer's job, for example, or having someone be able to help the treasurer be able to afford that and like figure out how to obtain those materials. I do think that it really just depends on what the community needs, as well as what would be the most effective and efficient way to be able to address that need.
You'll have 2 minutes, and then I'll give you guys a minute to debate between each other.
Right. Now, my biggest concern with her answer is, who decides what the community needs? Is it
Me. Sorry.
I do not think she represents the community's needs fully, but individually. Now, how I will decide about what chairs should be there and what shouldn't. I will personally be present in one of these chairs, and I will listen to the community and see what chairs they want and what they want to remove. If I find a chair that is ineffective, I will first seek a community census if they want to re-elect that. If that does not work, then I will ask the community and get people to vote on whether they want the chair to be there. That applies to new chairs as well. That if the community proposes a new chair, we will hold a vote. We will hold an Athenian style vote. Everyone gets it. And they decide. I simply represent. I do not make the decisions for you. I make decisions with you. I will be here listening to all of the things you all want. And I will take them to the council myself and say them verbatim and make sure that they are followed to the dot and make sure that the decisions are made proper and appropriate. I yield the rest of it.
Okay. You'll have a minute to debate between each other, and then that'll be the end of this question.
I would like to first say that I do regret not specifying what I meant by the community, and how I would reach out to them.
I would like the record to say she has a word.
What?
But I would personally go out and talk to these people and get a consensus on what the proper way should be to go about this and what they want. Because it is really what the community wants. And the community is the people, is who we represent. And I do not do anything except for what they want, even if I do not agree with what particular stance they have on things. I simply would represent who they are. In the way that I was talking about the Raman chair, as it was previously mentioned at a different meeting, that people thought that it should be removed.
Okay, you.
Both candidates agree that they want to be people who we can talk to and sort of share our trauma with. And Daniyal sort of explains this very clearly in his manifesto. However, right after you say that, you proceed to say you're very much into gossiping, quote unquote, I love the tea. How would I as a Harwardian know that the trauma that I share with you won't be shared from Robert Hall to Oakland? How can I trust you when your manifesto has this condition?
If you look carefully at me, I have very big ears and a very small mouth. I listen more than I speak. I love to listen to the tea, but I do not share it unless I have written consensual permission from the person who shared it. And for that reason, I will make sure that whatever is told to me will be kept in confidence, will not be revealed to anyone, not even to God himself. Now, by gossiping, I do mean gossiping. If you want to bitch about someone, go for it. But that gossip will not influence my decision when they want to propose something. I will not take sides. I am a true neutral. I only believe in what the community wants. If there is a situation where I have to choose sides, I will choose the side the community wants me to take. The gossiping is just because it's fun.
So, what if the entire community wants something that is extremely, how do I put this, not smart as a general idea?
I get what you mean, because from what we have seen, the community does end up getting on a bandwagon of an idea that may not be smart. Some of them proposed by my opponent. Now, how I would address that is first I would try to find a middle ground. That we would discuss the idea, discuss and see how it might not be plausible. How I, as a person, would be in the council and represent and see how the council reacts. I would ask you to maybe find a better solution that we could implement in a more efficient way. And then, if that does not work, if the idea still seems something that is near impossible to implement, I will try to discuss and then find alternate that make sure that the community is satiated, that the community does not need something and they do not have it. We will find a proper solution, a solution that everyone is happy with and no one hates. That is how I would do it.
Let her respond. You have 2 minutes.
This is crazy. I would say to your attack at me, ideas can be presented, and I think that any idea can be presented, but you can have a good and thoughtful discussion, like I did with several members of our community here, and come to the final decision that they would not, goats in particular, would not benefit our community in a positive way, in an overall positive way. But I do believe, even if it's not what I believe is a smart decision, it is open to you, and it is and if it is what you guys want as a collective, then I will be behind it. And I will try to execute and deliver that as much as it possibly can within my power.
Anything else you would like to add? I'll get to you had a question first. So
you say you will do what the community says, but how will you get that past the actual council? That those miserable people who try to govern, how will you try to convince them that, like you're referencing the courts? How will you convince the actual people who run this program that you want to put votes and you want someone else to be and someone else to take care of it, despite the fact the community wants it? Would you not try to negotiate with the community and find some other solution, some alternate? Maybe what I would suggest is a trip to the nearest farms that has goats every so often, where we go and see the goats as well. That is what I would suggest. And that's how we would come to compromise on how often we should go, where we should go, and how we should go. I want what's best for the community. I want what's best for the community, decided by the community.
Come on.
It's worry.
Hi, money lady. The money woman.
I would also like to mention, because of me, you all got free with drugs.
Hold on, we're taking brief pause. No, we hit a minute. Well, it's time too. It's time is up.
This is the
You all got free with drugs.
It's not a real debate.
Yeah, this is a recess. If you have questions, please write it down so you don't get it.